So Boolean data types are just another type of data that you can work with. And with Boolean data types, you can have certain operators. So for example, let's create a Boolean variable. So again, you create a Boolean variable by using bool, and we can set it to either true or false. Those are the only two values it can hold. And now if we go ahead and print out the value, we can also use a operator called a not operator, and that's just simply an exclamation mark in front of a Boolean value. And all a not operator does is it flips a true value to false or a false value to true. So you can see flag is initially true, and that's our Boolean variable. And the not operator simply flips true to false. And if we change the value of our Boolean value from true to false, the not operator will flip false into true. If we run this again, we get false, and the not operator turns a false value into true. And that's the simplest Boolean operator, but there's two more. One of them is called the AND operator. And the AND operator takes two Boolean values and it converts it to a single Boolean value. So for example, you could take true and true, and we can go ahead and copy it and do true and false, false and true, and false and false. Let's just comment out this code. And a comment again is 2/marks. If you're using a Swift Playground, you can do a shortcut and select the text you want to comment out and press Command/. So now if we run this, we find that the AND operator takes two Boolean values, and it's only true if both of them are true. The next operator is called the OR operator. And while the AND operator uses two ampersands, the OR operator uses two vertical lines. And you'll see that unlike the AND operator, which is only true if both Boolean values are true, the OR operator is true all the time unless both Boolean values are false. So you can see if it's true or true, true or false, false or true, then it always evaluates the true. And it only evaluates the false if both Boolean values are false. Now, we've been working with Boolean operators. Of course, there are other operators, mathematical operators as well. So let's just go ahead and create some integer variables. And the simplest operator for math is simply addition. And then there's also subtraction and multiplication, which is the asterisk symbol. And then division, which is the slash symbol. And with integers, there's a percentage sign, which is a remainder operator. So if you run this code, you'll see that if you add 34 plus 9, you get 43. If you subtract 34 minus 9, you get 25. If you multiply 34 times 9, you get 306. If you divide 34 by 9, you get 3, because it's an integer value. And integers have an additional operator. It's called the remainder operator. It's a percentage sign. And so 9 goes into 34 3 times with a remainder of 7. And so those are the different types of mathematical operators. And if we change this from an integer to a double data type, and we'll need to specify that each of these values is a double, you'll see that you cannot use the remainder operator with decimal values. But all the other operators work just fine: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And so these are the different mathematical operators you can use on numbers, integers, or decimal values. Now if we create a string you can use the plus sign, which is the concatenation operator, and you can add strings together. So for example, we create a string and we add a name using the plus symbol. If you run this, you'll see that you have one problem, is that there are no spaces between words. So when adding strings, you always have to make sure you add a space. So we can add a space here at the end of hello. We can add a space separately, like this, by simply adding a space. So when working with strings, always make sure you have spaces between all of the separate words.